Shalom, giving all praises and all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Hachodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone at Ruwell, and Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect destined to be saved. I am the brother Caleb from the GMS UK London Forecasters Camp, back with another lesson to help edify those of which I spoke of. So I'll jump into this lesson. The date currently today is the 25th of December, and by most people's understanding, this should be what is considered to be Christmas Day. And a lot of people in the world believe that Yahushua was born on the 25th of December and that they're celebrating his birthday, when in actual fact Yahushua was not born on the 25th of December. And also birthdays aren't a custom that we kept as Israelites. In fact, I believe in the Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey, it said something along the lines, if I can remember the quote correctly, that the birthday is one of the most satanic traditions, because it really is a form of worshiping oneself, the highest form of worshiping oneself, when all praise, honor, and glory really belongs unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. We didn't get to choose, who our mother was or who our father was, or at what precise moment we would emerge from our mother's womb and enter into the earth. So why should we receive gifts for that? We should, every year you want people to, send you flowers and cards and shit like that. It's all folly. And the scriptures even say that the day of one's death is better than the day of one's birth. So birthdays aren't a custom that, we keep as Israelites, first and foremost. And but people of the world, they don't want to hear the truth. No matter how many times you may say to them, I don't celebrate Christmas, they'll turn around and say to you, oh, but we don't really celebrate Christmas, but we're just having a family gathering, and we'd like it if you could be there. We don't really celebrate Christmas. They'll say that out of their mouth, but when you turn up to their gathering, what you'll find is they're doing they're partaking in all the traditions of Christmas, but then turning around saying they don't celebrate Christmas. Popping their crackers, wearing their paper crowns, the giving of gifts. It's all folly. The Christmas tree even. I'll get into that in a moment when I bring the precepts out. But everybody celebrates Christmas now. Even the other heathen nations celebrate Christmas. You got your Muslims who say, "Oh, I don't celebrate Christmas," but when Christmas comes around, they're still doing the same shit. They might not have the tree, but they'll the giving of gifts is prevalent among these heathens too on the 25th of December. So, where did it all come from? Let's read this article. How Saturnalia became Christmas, the transition from ancient to present and pagan to Christian. In the 4th century CE, after which, I should say AD, I'm sick of them changing this to, in the 4th century, let's see, I'll read it verbatim. In the 4th century CE, after which a new winter holiday began to be celebrated in Rome, Christmas. But how was the pagan festival of Saturnalia celebrated, and how did it influence and morph into Christmas celebrations that we know and love? Saturnalia was held in honor of the Roman god Saturn, and was supposed to represent the revelries of the golden age of men, a mythical time where men and gods lived in harmony. Saturnalia itself is an adaptation of the ancient Greek festival known as Krona, named after the Greek equivalent of Saturn, Kronos, which was celebrated in midsummer rather than midwinter, and is thought to signify the end of the harvest season to honor Saturn, a god associated with agriculture. Saturnalia was generally considered a merry festival with lots of feasting and exchanging of gifts. So that's what people do around this time, around 25th of December, spending money they ain't got to put themselves into debt, to buy food and presents and gifts and stuff. It's a folly tradition where people do it every year. A lot of customs that we associate with Christmas can be traced back to ancient origins, but Saturnalia had its own customs and traditions too. Some of the key components to celebrating Saturnalia were the reversal of roles. Dress codes were relaxed as Romans donned colourful dinnerwear instead of a toga, and slaves and masters ate together. Perhaps the masters even served food to the slaves, as Saturnalia practices varied over time. Gambling was also permitted and even encouraged for slaves and masters alike as the feasting and merriment got underway. There was the custom of giving gifts, particularly pottery or wax figures known as sigilleria, as well as other items such as tablets, dice, toys, candles, and many more. Giving verses in similar practice to writing Christmas cards, was also common, as documented by Marshall and Callis. Another practice that is attested is the crowning of Saturnalia's precepts, ruler of Saturnalia, who is seen as the master of the proceedings, and his commands have to be obeyed by the guests at the feast. It is possible that this originated as satiric response to the Roman emperors being known as princeps, ruler or leader, rather than rex, king, as this tradition was only attested in the imperial period of Roman history. Saturnalia was overall a jolly time of the year for ancient Romans, and the celebrations were enjoyed by all. The phrase Lo Saturnalia is akin to Merry Christmas and has a strongly emotive ritual connection. The festival sets precedents for Christmas celebrations, and it's undeniable that Saturnalia's influence lingers on today. The history of the festival is interesting as the traditions shift to reflect the current status of Rome, and eventually, as Rome became Christian in the 3rd century CE, the customs began to shift to reflect this. The tradition of Saturnalia was always fluid. During Augustus's reign, the festival was only 2 days long, yet Lucian, a later imperial poet, describes it as a 7-day event. Caligula tried to curtail it to 5 days, but the festivities persisted. The date also shifts. It's always in December, but the climax of the festival shifted from December 25th, the winter solstice, and back again. So it was from December 25th to the winter solstice and back again. The Emperor Domitian tried to assert his authority by making it into a public banquet rather than a private feasting that generally marked the celebrations so that he could control the celebrations. Saturnalia was a festival that was constantly evolving and lends itself to a shift from pagan worship to Christian worship. Rome officially became Christian in 313 CE, but the transition from a pagan society to a Christian society was not an entirely smooth one. Customs, traditions, and beliefs were amalgamated into a new Christian society. Rome was not a stranger to fusing different beliefs and traditions. Examples such as the worship of Sulis Minerva at Bath, a combination of the Roman goddess Minerva and the local goddess Sulis, shows that beliefs were flexible within a Roman society, and the transition of Saturnalia into Christmas furthers this idea. There is evidence that Saturnalia as a festival was celebrated for around a century after the conversion of Rome to Christianity. The religious aspects of the festival honouring Saturn appear to have been gradually lost, instead becoming a popular festival designed to bring happiness in the bleak winter season. The connection with the midwinter and the birth of Jesus Christ wasn't made until the 2nd century CE, and was first known and the first known celebration of Christmas celebrating the birth of Christ is from 354 CE. Jesus' actual date of birth is unknown. There you go. Or Yahushai's actual date of birth is unknown. And the scholars have estimated that he could have been born in June or perhaps around the spring equinox, where he was born around the time of the Passover. Regardless, there is no evidence that the widely celebrated date of Christmas was his actual date of birth. The date of December 25th specifically likely comes from the Roman festival Des Natalis Solis Invicti, the day of birth of the unconquered sun. There you go. A festival specifically celebrating the birth of the sun. This festival was more specifically religious than the general merriment of Saturnalia, and it is noted that Constantine was the first Christian emperor who was brought up in a cult of the sun, so it's possible that the date of Christmas was designed to replace this festival specifically rather than the more ambiguous dates of Saturnalia. Just a little bit more. The Catholic Church does not like to associate itself with pagan influences. After all, the Christians faced persecution from the polytheistic Roman society for many years. However, it is likely that Christmas traditions and customs do stem from the pagan festival of Saturnalia, even if it is circumstantial. As Christianity became the dominant religion in Rome and overtook the previous pagan traditions, winter festivals are common around the world, and it makes sense that Saturnalia would have direct influences over the new festival of Christmas in the shifting landscape of the late Roman Empire. Gift-giving, feasting, and a hearty celebration in December could describe either Saturnalia or Christmas, but Christmas has evolved even further from its pagan roots, and even its deeply Christian ties to become a time of joy around the world as families come together and celebrate the year that has passed. Saturnalia did not become Christmas in a linear way, but its influence lingers on. So this goes back to, the worship of the sun, the winter solstice, Saturnalia, and they try to amalgamate the birth of Yahushai into it. I call it, Christian tradition, but it has nothing to do with the birth of Yahushai whatsoever. Now, the scriptures speak against this situation. Let's get it. Jeremiah chapter 10, starting from verse 1 says, Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of a workman with an axe. And they deck it with silver and with gold, which is the tinsel, and they fasten it with nails and hammers, that it move not. So that's the Christmas tree. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. So people worship their Christmas trees. How do they worship the Christmas tree? You might be asking yourself. We don't worship Christmas trees. Well, people sing songs to their Christmas tree. I remember when I was a child at primary school, around this time of year, they'd make us, we used to sing songs all in assembly all throughout the year, but at Christmas time, we'd sing a song that went along the lines of, oh Christmas tree, how lovely are your branches. They used to make us sing that song at school around Christmas time. So, singing songs to the trees. And also people bow down to the trees because what they do is when they've got a Christmas tree, they stack the presents underneath the tree. So on Christmas morning, everybody comes down. And what do they have to do to pick up the presents? They have to bend down. They bend down and they pick up the presents. Let's start bowing down before the tree and worshipping it. There's a lot to these customs that people take for granted, but the Most High isn't happy with it. And, really we want to be doing what's pleasing to the Most High and avoiding what's displeasing to the Most High. But a lot of the people in this world, they want to do what's pleasing to themselves and then try and justify it under the excuse that, oh, it's just tradition. That don't cut it, man. The Most High told us what we should and shouldn't do, and the traditions of the world should not supersede the commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. There's another precept I want to get. Bear with me a moment. Just pulling it up here. This is Exodus 23 and verse 2. It says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. So we're not supposed to follow a multitude to do evil. It doesn't matter that the majority of people are celebrating Christmas. That still doesn't justify it. The scriptures say thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. So, we can't be doing that. In Micah 2 and 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. So we're supposed to arise and depart from this world, and not follow the customs of this world, but the customs of the people are vain. We read that in Jeremiah 10 and verse 2. The custom of the people are vain, and we're not supposed to be dismayed at the signs of heaven, but heathen are dismayed at them. Now, we don't need to partake in these high unholy days, because in our Israelite calendar, there are high holy days which we can partake in. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to come back to the order that was set out by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. There's certain days that we'll keep, such as the Passover, Day of Atonement, things like that, that we're ordered to keep. But these high and holy days, celebrations of birthdays, Valentine's days, Easters, Christmases, that's of the world, man. That's of the world. And when we come into this truth, we depart from the world. We put these things off, and we come back to the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of an order that was, ordained by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. So yeah, that's just a quick hit video. Putting it out there. Lord willing, those who can receive this word are edified. For all those anti-Christians out there, because they are antichrists, they're not going to hear this word. I mean, they know Christmas is bullshit, but they continue to celebrate anyway because it feels good to their flesh. So no matter how many times we may say or expose the pagan traditions of Christmas. You know, these Christians don't want to hear it, man. They're too busy in the traditions that they've grown accustomed to, and you know they don't want to give up their pigs in blankets on their Christmas tree and everything else. They want to stay in the world, so let them stay in their lane. But Lord willing, those who can receive this word, who are of the elect, were edified by it. So with that, giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rahakodash, double honours unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect destined to be saved. And I will catch you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now.